I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 2nd of October, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life living in León, Nicaragua. It's been a pretty good week here, but a very busy one. So we're a little bit behind on the show, but I've got a lot of exciting stuff we've been working on today and a project that we just did that I'm really having a lot of fun with. So I'm going to share that with you guys and keep it to a short one today. I know it's a Monday. I like to get big episodes out for Monday, but just can't do it today. So we're going to get to that off to the bump. I'm scrambling to have some light to record with today because I just haven't had a lot of time. On the day that I'm recording this, we actually had, well, let's go back 2 days, on Friday night. So I'm recording this actually on Sunday in the future. And on Friday night, we went to a tribute or memorial concert at Via Via with Cadejo for one of their founders who passed away during COVID, from COVID. During the pandemic, the height of the pandemic here in Nicaragua, and they had a memorial show for him on Friday night. And so as far as I know, I haven't been able to edit it all, but it looks like we managed to get the concert recorded on Friday. We went for that, and it was a really amazing show. And I think the video turned out really well. We're recording that for Nicaragua, which is really cool. For those who haven't followed, we're doing all this work. We have a channel that we're helping with for Nicaragua, because I like going out and recording the concerts, and there aren't a lot of people who have the equipment to do this. So sorry for the laundry in the background. This is where we actually hang the sábanos, the sheets. So I'm way in the back of the house. Having the equipment to do that, like, I really enjoy doing this, and it gives me an excuse to go out to the shows, and we get a lot of, a lot of perks at the bars when you go out and do stuff for Nicaragua, because they're like, oh, you're here to, it really promotes the venues and promotes the bands and gets people out and gets people asking questions and more involved and looking for new events in the future and stuff. So people are like, it's really great when you go out and do it. So we're having a lot of fun with that, and it gives me, quite honestly, excuses to have nice cameras and stuff and tripods and all the equipment, which I really like. I'm just a camera guy, right? Like, so I really enjoy just having a reason to have all that stuff. It's kind of like when I was in high school, I really got into photography, and to kind of make it a thing, like, I went out and started doing sports photography. Even though I'm not into sports, I did sports photography, and it really gave me a reason to have camera gear and learn things and to take pictures. Like, it gave me a purpose, right? Which then gave me a job working for the newspaper doing sports photography, because I'd done it for fun to, like, give me a goal, right, in my photography. So this gives me a goal in my video making, which of course I have the vlog, but the vlog is so freeform that it's great, and it does certain things, but there's a lot of things I like to do that are very different than the vlog, and doing these concerts really helps with that. So anyway, so that was Friday. We recorded that, and while we were doing the show, we said, what would be really great is if we had the band come out and do interviews, and do like a full-scale interview with everyone, because it's the band that Oscar had founded. And so I was like, this is great. We weren't able to do it yesterday on Saturday after the show. We certainly weren't able to do it at the show, just too loud and too many people and stuff going on. So that was Friday. Yesterday we went out and recorded another show at Food Rock, which will be up on the Nicaragua. That one will be up on Nicaragua in a day or two. But this one from Cadejo on Friday will be a couple weeks, I'm sure. So this morning, on Sunday morning, all the guys from the band came over, Marcella came over, and we set up here and did a full interview with 3 cameras. I've never done that. I've done like 2 cameras for fun with myself. You guys have seen some older episodes back when I first got the GoPro 11, so almost a year ago. I was like, I can do multi-camera. I've got the 9 and the 11 and go back and forth, and it's a lot of work. And I was like, okay, that's cool and all, but it's a lot of work, right? And the result is, yeah, you can switch angles, but how important is that really? It's not very important normally. But we're doing this interview, and there's 6 people, so 3 cameras, at different settings, but they're all GoPro, so they should, in theory, match. I haven't seen the footage yet. Hopefully it came out. So we set this whole thing up with 3 cameras, had real microphones. We had like it was a lot going on, a lot of equipment, and I did some behind the scenes photos and a little bit of behind the scenes video, and the whole thing was really cool. It was all morning setting up for that and getting everything charged and ready and the cameras ready, and then doing the interviews, and then some cameras overheated while we're doing it, of course. But it was really cool. That was a fun project. So that was my morning, was getting that done. And then since then, we've just been uploading the videos because, of course, everything's recorded at really high quality because it gives me more flexibility later, not because we need super high quality for an interview, right? But it lets you just do more. It protects against mistakes, whatever. So in the process of getting those uploaded, making sure we actually got good video, hopefully we got good audio. There's a lot to have potentially gone wrong there. And I'm going to be doing a ton of editing to put that all together. But so it's a really cool video project for me. I know that was a lot to explain this really neat, like different thing that I'm doing. I've never really done interviews, so I'm looking forward to this new aspect of videography and editing it and all that that's going on. So that was this morning, and now we're just doing these uploads and then getting ready to go out once I do the show for today. The kids just wanted to go out to eat, so we're going out to Sua for dinner. They didn't want to go very far. We're like, we could go somewhere. You know, you want us to drive somewhere? You want to go to the beach and go to someplace? They're like, we just want to go to Sua. And we're like, okay. So heading downtown in a little while to do that. So the sun is getting low. It has been, just in general, a very busy week here. Sorry, this is really just a vlog update day. Life in Nicaragua, not every day is there a huge topic. We managed to do like 300 plus, probably 320 plus topics on the channel per year, and once in a while you just need a day update from me, like what's going on in my life, it's just been a really busy week, really good stuff at work, I think, overall, in every possible aspect. Like, every bit of work has been busy this past, like, week, 2 weeks. Tomorrow, we're out of town dealing with some stuff all day, so I'm really scrambling to be ready for tomorrow. But tomorrow's video is, like, recorded. It's today's it was the only one that didn't fit between things because 5 cameras were tied up doing the interview this morning. So that was that. And, yeah, so one of the exciting things I have coming up, it looks like, we think, is Jack Pittman and I made direct contact. Like, we know of each other. We've talked about each other. People have mentioned us to each other, apparently. I mean, I know they've mentioned him to me quite a bit. And he's got a really cool channel. He had a really busy channel and then lost it, but apparently got it back. But now he has a new one. I don't know how he's managing all that. I need to ask him, like, what the current status is. But so he's been doing Nicaragua YouTubing for quite some time out of Managua, right? And he has in many ways, a very similar story to me, I think. But has taken a completely different Nicaraguan journey from me, and is living in downtown Managua, and I don't even know what all he's doing here. So I'm really interested to find out. So he and I made contact, and we're going to be doing, I hope, so hopefully it will work out, we're going to do joint interviews to put each other on each other's channels, which should be really cool. We've never really done these crossovers before. I've been talking a little bit to Elton, who's way up in Ocotal, up north in Nueva Segovia, about doing the same thing, but that's like, I gotta drive hours and hours to get up there. Like, it's a major undertaking, but we'll also get to see Ocotal on the channel, which I haven't gotten to do yet. I've been there, but I've never gotten to film it. So I'm excited about that. And I've never done Ocotal from like a tourist standpoint. So I do want to go see Nueva Segovia and see what it has to offer. Cause there's a lot of potential information for you guys from up there that will be good, because it's an entire state. It's one of the departamentos that are very small, and that means in general that they have a decent population and culture of their own in a smaller area. Whereas, of course, Granada and Masaya, those are pretty small. But when you get into the Rivas, the Leon, the Chinandega, these are huge. The Matagalpas, these are big regions, right? So when you're like, oh, there's it's a huge area. Well, pretty much the area created the need for a departamento. It's too far to administer without having a different line. But when you get up to Nueva Segovia, Madrid, those areas, they're actually really small, which implies that they had something important enough to make them shave off of their neighboring larger departamentos at some point, in a way that down here they've not. And so I'm looking forward to really discovering a little bit about Nueva Segovia and getting to know that region, because more mountains, some cities I don't know. Ocotal itself is the 3rd oldest city in the country. It's one of the colonial cities like Granada and Leon, but much smaller. I think about 75,000 people, whereas we're like 300 here, and Granada Granada is about 150. So Granada is about half of us, and then Alcatel is about half of them, very roughly. But so Elton and I have been talking about that, but we don't have like definite plans, but we're definitely going to do it. We just don't know when. But Jack is very accessible. So we're going to try to do an interview this week if we can, where I'm on his channel. We're just going to do it online because that's how he does his. And then I'm going to try to go out to Managua, but no big deal because I'm out there all the time. I'm out there on Tuesday, but I have no time to see him on Tuesday. I have to be out for other things on Tuesday. That's what, Monday. Tomorrow we're really busy. On the day you're seeing this, probably we're going to be really busy. And then the day following, we have a lot of shopping we got to do. I got to get custom shoes made, all kinds of stuff because of the quinceañera coming up. We have all this prep work that's to be done that way. There's so many things have been done, but so many things more still need to be done. So that's just a lot of work happening. So at some point in the next few weeks, I'm going to try to get down to Managua and bring cameras and sit down with Jack and interview him as well and get his story on coming to Nicaragua, because everyone has such a different story. And I just saw, I guess today's theme is other channels here, right? So Elton has, I'll link some of these, right? He has immense coffee movement up in Nueva Segovia, and Jack has Jack Pittman, Nicaragua, in Managua, and Scott Moore has There's Got to Be Something More in Matagalpa. So I just saw on his channel that he and his wife are, I believe it's his wife, sorry Scott if it's not, that they are moving to Guatemala. They really like it in Matagalpa. They've been really happy up there, and they have some experience in the region. This isn't their first place in Latin America, but my understanding from his channel is that they're finding it still too warm. Matagalpa's livable. They can handle it, but it isn't what they're looking for. And so they're heading to Xela or Quetzaltenango in super northern Guatemala, just off of the Mexican border, which is the second city of Guatemala. And I haven't been there. Really want to see it. I've been to Guate, I've been to Antigua, I've been to a few others, but not Quetzaltenango. And that looks like a really amazing city. I think it probably has quite a lot to offer, and I want to visit it for sure. It's such a long way from here. It's about almost 30 hours if you were to take a bus straight there. So it's not for the faint of heart going that way, but it is accessible. And if you have a car that can cross the border, then you can drive up there in like between 12 and 15, I think. But so they've had kind of a good channel for expats because they're in an area that people don't really know, and they've had a really good, they have a retirement experience, which the other three of us don't. There's a lot of channels of people who are passing through Nicaragua, right? Like people who are just general travelers, like here's our show about Nicaragua while we're there for a week or a month or even a few months. And there's a few people oh, no, I'm not going to remember their names, but they got stuck here during COVID, so they put in like a year that they weren't expecting, and there's some people who came for like many months, like they got here and decided to stay for really long. So there's some channels like that are generally really big channels, and they stayed for a long time, and they give a certain view of Nicaragua, but they're really views as tourists, right? People who may have been here a long time, but weren't intending to make a life. And I think with Jack and with Elton and I, and Scott to some extent, there's this is people moving to Nicaragua for all four very different reasons, right? Elton is returning to a family business to rebuild it. I'm bringing a family with the intent of a family for the future, and this is us making a permanent life here. And Jack, I don't know his story exactly, but I don't believe he has kids, and I think he's quite a bit younger than me. He must be, and Elton is way younger than me, right? And so they have this very different Nicaraguan journey, and then Scott is a little bit older than me and retired, and so this retirement journey that they're looking for the perfect place to hang their hat and enjoy their retirement. And so we all have very different goals and needs, and our experience with Nicaragua, I think, is very different, but we kind of have this, there aren't that many channels like us, or if there are, we haven't found them, that we're kind of sharing our journey of living here, and everybody offers something, right? Elton sells coffee for sure, I don't think he sells any on his channel. I think the channel is just his story of selling coffee. He sells coffee in the US, so I'm sure someone has watched his channel and bought coffee, but I don't think that's a path to selling coffee. And Jack does like relocation and general consulting for people, which you're able to do. And I mostly have my own business from the U.S. I work as a business consultant in the U.S., but we do a little bit of relocation assistance. So we're a little bit more like Jack, that we have relocation assistance, but it's a slightly different take on it. But we have those things. So we all have like something that the channel's doing, but for the most part, all of our channels are more for ourselves, I think. And none of them are like a product channel, whereas the majority of other channels here in Nicaragua are so focused on selling something, normally property, right? That they're directly product channels. So having this little group of us, and hopefully there's more, and there's and of course I'm not going to remember their name, but the new couple, and I say new, they've probably been here for most of a year, that just moved up to Chinandega, who is homesteading up there. They're clearly not selling anything, right? They're just living off the land and doing fruit. They've got a new new-ish channel as to their adventures. I'm going to put these links all in the description for today, so you can explore some of these, which you really should, right? And because we all have such an incredibly different view of Nicaragua. I think all of us love it, right? So you have kind of this group of people who are like, we are people who came down with an attitude or a set of goals or whatever and stumbled on this place that we love, but all of us are taking such an incredibly different approach to it, and all in completely different locations. None of us are even in the same departamento as each other, which is weird that that's happening, and most of us are in really weird places. Jack is in Managua, so that's okay, but Nueva Segovia, Chinandega, Matagalpa, like Scott's on the normal side in Matagalpa. He's not that far afield at all compared to the others. So, and I'm the other than Jack, I'm the most core. But you'd expect there to be these channels from Granada and from maybe Masaya and from San Juan del Sur and Ometepe, but I'm not seeing them. I mean, maybe they exist, and I haven't stumbled on them yet, right? But that's so far not my experience. And everyone I talk to knows the same channels, right? If you watch any of those channels, you see crossover people from the other channels, and like people who are really into the Nicaraguan experience or learning about Nicaragua are finding these channels. So it's I think it's really interesting, and I think there needs to be, or should be, I think we would all benefit a lot from working together and spending some time and making a point of reaching out and talking to each other, because there's such a different takes on this shared experience, and I think we have a lot to learn from each other, and I think it would be really interesting for you guys to experience it in that way, because there is this variety, right? Like, you watch my channel and you get so much of, this is Scott's life in Nicaragua. It's easy to feel like, I want that life. And people say that, right? People say like, wow, I think you've got this figured out. I want to do it. Well, it's hard to do. Do you have a family? Are you my age? Do you have a career in the United States that won't even know that you switched? Do you have these interests? Are you into the things that I do? Do you like the weather the way that I do? Like, there's a whole bunch of factors that if you shared those things with me, you could replicate this really easily. But if you don't, what you see is my life and go, wow, that's really cool, may not work for you, right? Like, oh, well, but I'm a carpenter by trade, so yeah, my career is going to significantly change when I move. Okay, you're going to have to really reconsider trying to replicate my life, because the fact that I'm able to work online and work the same job I've always had and work without any real changes, and just, and I have totally flexible working conditions, and, I've been there for 25 years, like all kinds of things, like that's not something you can easily replicate, right? You can't just run out, snap your fingers, and be like, I'm going to follow Scott's dream and do that. You can't. You have to adapt all that for you. And so I think seeing how other people are using Nicaragua to fulfill their personal dreams, or how their dreams led them here, right, could be awesome, right? So I'm really looking forward to talking to Jack in person and online, and Elton, and I hope to reach out to more people. Scott is moving to Guatemala. I watched the channel. I tried to, I think, definitely not until January, I think is what he said. I'm gone a lot between now and January, so that's actually gonna make my schedule a little bit tough. I'm gonna try to get out to Matagalpa and do a little bit of time with him and put him on this show. Maybe I can get on his, who knows. And I think doing the interview this morning really kind of put a bee in my bonnet that I need to get out and start talking to people, right? Because the one we did this morning is for Nicaragua, so it's totally in Spanish. It's not my, like, I can follow a lot of it, but there's a lot, it's different. And it's not me doing the interviews, I'm just running the cameras. But I think on this channel, doing some interviews with people who are, living the Nicaragua dream and have different perspectives and experiences to share, could be awesome. And I think we have ways to benefit from each other. And I think you guys benefit from that. So that's part of my plan. So that's what's been going on this week. That's what I'm thinking about. And I'm going to keep it short today. Sometimes you guys complain, say it should be shorter, but you watch more when it's longer. So I don't know. But happy Monday. Enjoy some coffee. If you'd like to send me a coffee, you can do so at the link. I'll put it on the screen, buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. I really appreciate everyone who helps make this show possible. And if you're not able to buy me a coffee, but you want to help support the show, like, subscribe, go watch an extra episode, leave it running all day in the background, like them whenever they come up, whatever, watch it on a second computer, watch it at work and at home, whatever, right? All those things, YouTube is like, yes, these people love this show. Leave comments, that helps. Ask questions. We got a ton of questions for a bunch of Q&A episodes. Now they've dried up a bit. There's still a few, but I need more, so scroll down, take a moment, say hi, ask a question, let me know what you're wondering about. If I haven't answered your questions already, chances are I've got them noted somewhere and I'm trying to research or waiting until I have the right person to answer them or whatever. Share on social media, tell your friends about the show, and I will see all of you tomorrow.